All right, everybody, welcome. It is Monday, December 1st, 2025, about 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Let's go ahead and jump into our day ahead analysis, see what we've got cooking for the next 24 hours. What do we expect, particularly for the New York session tomorrow? But still, this analysis is extremely valid for those of you who are going to be trading Asia tonight or London, depending what time of the world you're in. We've got members from all over the world. So this will get you guys nice, prepped, and ready for the upcoming 24-hour cycle of trading. I had a good day. We had a good day in the members area. Started off just knowing these days, guys, to be patient. I mean, that goes for every day, obviously, but there are particular days, let's say, to be more aggressive and then other days to be less aggressive. Today was one of those days just to be a little bit less aggressive. And I found that by really waiting for that first trade and hitting a nice winner there, that set my day off to a great flow. And I ended up having a very good day. So I'm happy about that. I know many of you, some of you had a good day, some of you struggled a little bit. The price action was a little wonky today, so it wasn't easy to read. And all I can say is you're going to get better with time and experience, guys. You know, it just takes time and experience. Just keep focusing on the process. Keep learning VolPro Edge. You see what I do most days. I promise it's there for you to do the same exact thing. The only difference between us is that I'm further along the path. And as long as you keep working hard and making those sacrifices, you will get there. I have no doubts. All right, so there's my little pre-analysis motivational speech. Let's go ahead and jump into the actual analysis. This is the S&P 500 ES. You guys can always look at the symbol up here. You'll know what futures market we're looking at. We do have some new members coming on board. You guys know ES, that's for the E-mini S&P 500. Z is for the December month in futures. 25 is the year. And then different brokerages kind of structure these letters and numbers in different ways, but you know, you'll figure that out as you get going. All right. So I still think on the weekly, guys, if you didn't catch the week ahead analysis that I did yesterday, go watch that because I'm not going to repeat a lot of the stuff that I said in that video right now. I'm going to summarize more. I do think that the weekly chart here, you know, we already talked about big move down. We nailed that to the wall last week. We said we thought we're heading higher. We did. And now I do think we want to come back down to the middle of the weekly envelope right in here, 6760-ish on ES before we rip higher. So looking at this pullback on the daily, look, trend run up, bang, congestion entrance down on the daily. You know, it's a nice little pocket there for sure, but do you want to buy this for a move up here? I wouldn't, just because of where we're at on the weekly. We're kind of in no man's land. Monthly, we've got nothing to lean against. So, you know, sure, when we start the New York trading session tomorrow morning, we'll see where we're at. I don't think this thing's going to fall right out of bed because, you know, the day of the week is important, right? We only just finished Monday. So we still have 4 days left until this weekly bar, you know, establishes its entire weekly range. So we could, you know, push up here. And then tomorrow night, you know, the dailies in congestion action, boom, boom. Well, that would probably be a good short because then you're running into all that weekly resistance up there at the old daily trend resistance high, right? I just don't know the sequence of when that's going to happen. But number one, I'm looking at this pullback pattern here on the daily. And I say, would I buy that? I don't think it's a terrible buy, to be honest. But like I said, I'm not going to buy it overnight. Sometimes I will buy things overnight, guys. But it needs to look good across all different time frames for me to want to put something on, especially right at the reopen when Asia opens right about now, and then let it ride all night. It's got to look really good on all time frames. No, I'm going to wait and see what Asia and London do with the price action over my nighttime and see where we're at heading into the New York Open. I'll give you my take on it, of course, as always. But I wouldn't be surprised to see another choppy day, you know, maybe a move like that. It gets punched up in there, maybe closes here, and then maybe that sets the rest of the week, you know, Thursday like that, and then maybe Friday, you know. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like this for the week. What I'm not expecting, and look, this still, we don't know. If we get a big push like this and we close above all that resistance, the trend resistance high there, we close above these DML resistance points, okay, fine. That'll give me new information. I'll adjust my stance. I'm just not expecting that. So let's see what happens. All right. Probably look for your intraday charts NQ 50,000 volume is what I use as my higher time period intraday chart. ES, you can use the 100,000 volume intraday chart. I would kind of be looking for a similar day that we had today, kind of, you know, moves down and then back up and then back down. I wouldn't be looking for a runaway trend market. So I'll be looking based on how I'm seeing the charts right now. I'll be looking to play both sides of the market like I did today. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Okay. Right now, I don't have a particular strong bias one way or the other, bullish or bearish. Okay. And that is important information all by itself, you guys. Just using that information is key because then you want to play both sides. Use your intraday charts, right? When we're really bullish, we want to stay away from the short side. We want to focus on the long side. When we're bearish, focus on the short side, stay away from the long side, right? So this is the way you will stack the probabilities in your favor over time, which is what trading is all about. So that's what I'm looking at for ES. Let's go ahead. NQ is going to be, pretty much identical. I do believe we've got the Fed Chair Powell speaking tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure what he's going to speak about, but that could cause some volatility here early in the Asia session, more volatility than normal. So be aware of that if you're trading right now. I haven't decided. I got to see what he's speaking about. And if it looks interesting, I may put a trade on. We'll see. So NASDAQ, kind of looking similar here, except the weekly on the NASDAQ, you'll notice if you pay close attention, our extension DML, the core DML, the congestion DML, these are above you on the NASDAQ. And their resistance for right now into 25,600-ish into that monthly resistance level right there as well. So I do think we want to fish down here into the middle of the envelope first. But again, we're just going to wait and see. I mean, today on the NASDAQ, you've got what I don't really have a name for this pattern, but it's when the daily goes for congestion entrance down, fails because we pop up and we get a close above the middle of the envelope, right? And, you're looking at this just like ES, you're going, okay, there's a pocket there. Hey, we're trending up on the daily. Should I buy that? No, for the same reason. I'm not saying I'm not going to play the long side intraday. Sure, I will, depending on what Asia and London do with the overnight price action heading into the New York Open. I'm just saying, hey, coming right into the open right now, would I just buy right here? No, you're in the middle of this range. You still have this weekly resistance overhead. Let this market play itself out during Asia and London, and then wait and see what New York's got for you. Now, if you're in the time zone, or if you're in Asia or you're in Europe and you can't trade New York, then you're going to have to make determinations for yourself based on the price action, the intraday price action during the time that you're trading. And remember, guys, you got to have a trading plan. You got to have your process. You got to follow your process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's patience and discipline over, recklessness and FOMO. You don't want that. You should be screenshotting all the trades you're taking. You should be writing notes why you're taking those trades. Every weekend, you should be going back and looking at the trades you took, looking at your notes, trying to learn from why they failed. What did you do right? Build on that. What did you do wrong? Try and cut those mistakes out. That's the process over time of how you will get better and better and better. I promise. And I'm just going to keep pounding that into you guys because I want all of you to succeed. All right. So, NASDAQ, it's the same here as the ES. I mean, we could very well punch up like this, and then that would set up, a little bit of a flash. You can see these extension DML resistance levels all kind of stacked here. Those are very important. And then maybe it flashes up like that. And then maybe that's what causes the move back down. I could see something like that, definitely. I'm kind of slightly leaning more toward that on NQ and ES jumping up. And then maybe Tuesday night we roll over and push to the downside. But let's wait and see what actually happens. All right. And guys, for those of you who've been here for a long time, you know that there are some days where we come in right at the reopen here at this time. And we've got a clear daily pattern. It matches up with a great weekly, monthly level. All the time frames are in sync with the types of trading. And it's like, we have great confidence that this is going to unfold, But in this case, there are different scenarios, and I have an idea about what I think is going to unfold. And now I'm just going to let the market tell me what scenario it is that's playing out, and then I'm going to capitalize on that. All right? Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, let's go ahead and look at the 10-year Treasury while I have a little bit of delicious kombucha here. It is passion fruit and ginger. Very, very nice. So the 10-year here, a little bit of a a sell-off there. No, pretty good move down on the 10-year, meaning rates spiked today. But you're into quite a lot of support now here on the weekly. Yeah, you're breaking through that, but look at the monthly, all that support there. The quarterly still pushing pretty good to the upside there. I don't know. I wouldn't buy this obviously on the 10-year because this you broke this support level here on the daily. You're kind of breaking that, but you're also now you're into all that support. So you're gonna have some cross currents there. Um, yeah, I don't really trade bonds. For those of you who do trade bonds, I'd probably be looking for a bounce and then maybe some resistance up in here, sells off, and then maybe pushes lower or something like that over the next couple of days. If we continue to head lower on the 10-year, rates continue to push higher, stock market may not like that. So let's be aware of that. Let's go ahead and look at gold. Gold and silver, absolutely on fire lately. And although I don't actively trade those right now, sometimes I will trade gold and silver, but lately I don't know, the NASDAQ it's the gift that keeps on giving and giving and giving. So I don't need to go look at other markets because NASDAQ is just awesome almost every day. But those of you in London, for example, or Asia, I think maybe gold is a better market to trade in the evening session. For me, the evening, for you guys, morning or afternoon, wherever you are. I think gold is a good market for you to trade as well. So I'm not going to go into all this detailed analysis again. We already talked about it in the week ahead video yesterday. Go check that out again if you haven't. But I'm still bullish gold. So this little I just wait for this to give a pullback pattern, then try and get long. I mean, you've got tons and tons of support down in here. So I wouldn't be shorting gold here. Just wait for pullbacks. Look for good opportunities on your intraday charts on gold. That's probably the 25,000 volume chart into the 5,000 volume chart as your lower time period. You guys can play with those different numbers on those intraday charts and see what you like. But I would be really focusing on the long side on my intraday gold charts if I traded gold, for those of you who do trade gold. Silver, we don't need to cover it. I don't think any of you trade silver. It's the same thing. Very, very bullish. Setting record highs right now with silver. Crude we don't need to look at because crude's a mess right now. So I know 99.9999876,354% of us, sorry guys, gotta have a little bit of fun, trade NQ and ES. So that's why I spend most of the time on NQ and ES and give you guys a little bit here and there with bonds, gold, sometimes some silver, sometimes some crude. Let me know if there's any markets you feel very passionate about, you want to trade, and then give me your analysis for that market if I don't cover it. And those of us in the chat in the community will take a look at your analysis and go, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't look at that market. Oh, you're going to trade that market? Yeah, I think this, this, and this, or I wouldn't trade it, or I would look at this. So if you guys ever want me to look at a market you're trading that I'm not covering, just share it with the community and we'll all take a look. We're here to help. So that pretty much concludes it, you guys. I will leave it there, except I have one more thing that I promised our amigo David in España to talk about. Let me go ahead and bring this up here. Let's see, it is there, I believe. Yes, we do not want nat gas. We want NASDAQ. So David was asking why I took a particular trade. Let's see if I can remember off the top of my head. So you guys kind of remember, go back and look at the pre-open video I did. I said, we were right here in the middle. And I basically said, down in here is where I'd be looking to get long. Or up in here looking to get short. Well, we went down first and picked up that support, and that was my first good long of the day, and it was pretty straightforward. Let's see. Right here, guys. I believe this was right where it happened. Yes. So this was the open in here. We were kind of in no man's land. I told you that in the pre-open video. This was all no man's land in here. We weren't in higher time period support, which was all down in here, 25,240 ish, and then resistance was kind of up in here, right? So this trading in here was really choppy, the first 15 minutes or so of the open, and I didn't get caught in any of this because I wasn't in a good zone on my 50,000 volume chart, right? And I laid all that out for you guys, heading into the open. Which is what I try to do to, keep you on the right side of the market and try to help you stay patient, not make as many mistakes. So I think when price was here, I had said in the live market analysis channel, I said, look for support at 25,240 to 25,250, because at that time, You had, some support, all that 50K support here. So all you have to do, guys, that zone there, 250 to 240 is right there ish, right? Well, we're waiting for closes usually. I don't always wait for 10,000 volume chart closes, but I recommend you guys do because you just make fewer mistakes. You get further along in your career before you start jumping the gun a little bit. It takes some nuance, some feel. But here, when that 10K right there closed, I told you guys in the live market analysis channel. I mean, I guess we can just go back and look at it. I mean, why not? Let's go ahead and bring it up. Give me a second here, guys. All right, here's the live trading updates, right? This is where I post the pre-market, what I'm seeing. Right now I'm doing the daily video that I post here. So, this is where, and then we discuss trading throughout the day in the day trading chat room. Guys, we've got so many good things here in the members area. There's no other trading mentorship program anywhere like this, not to mention what we have with VolPro Edge and our proprietary indicators and all that. But if you go back and look specifically here at the live trading updates, I mean, so here was the, pre-market open, 9:14 a.m. Eastern, right? I give you my video, which was, I just summarized what I said in this video. You can go watch that. Look, I said, I'm flat, lots of support, 40 to 50. Well, that's exactly what I was talking about right now. I said, lots of support, 40 to 50. That was that zone right there. So when I saw, and I was stalking this, that's why I was letting you know, but when I saw the 10K smash down on big selling and we broke the extension support DML, we broke the congestion support DML, the envelope bottom, we broke the valley of the middle of the envelope here, right? Remember, I teach this in the course, guys. See, when this is coming down, let me get my pen, different tool, down, and then curves up. That trough is the valley. Similarly, we've got, peaks like that. Those are key levels when you match them up with other key levels, DMLs, types of trading, all that stuff. You guys know, I teach it in the course. But here, when this 10K broke that on close, right here, guys, 9:41 a.m. Look, lots of support, 40-50. No confirmation. I did not buy. Why? 10K broke support DMLs on heavy selling. Well, what 10K am I talking about? The one right here. It broke all of that support on heavy footprint selling. Okay. But then look, you could see this setting up intra bar here, right? And I was saying there could be a KLR pattern gearing us up out of all that support on the 50K to rocket back up. Those KLR patterns are great because they show us when, in this case, the shorts are going to get trapped because there was all that heavy selling. They thought it was going lower. Oops, now they're all going to have to cover, and the market rockets the other direction because when they cover, they're buying back their shorts. When they buy back their shorts, guys, it propels the market, quickly the other direction, right? Same thing when longs are trapped on the other side of the market when they get caught long at the highs. But in this case, that's how we had that KLR pattern. KLR long pattern on 10K, possibly setting up into 50K. Why did I say possibly? It hadn't closed yet, but I'm putting it out there. I'm saying, guys, look at this, okay? And this is happening fast, guys. I'm trading different accounts for myself. I'm trying to screenshot for you guys and, keep you guys on the right side of the market. It's a lot of multitasking, if I'm going to be totally honest. And I think I'm doing a good job at it. And you guys are also, when you follow this, you're learning what I'm looking for while I'm trading, but you're also getting really good reads most days, right? So I told you I'm in, right? And then, this was 10 minutes later, I'm out. I got 50-ish points on that first trade. I can't remember the exact numbers there, but I got in, right around here. And then I got out, I think right around here, something like that. I got about 50 points from around 50 to even, something like that. Why didn't I let this run? Because I just wasn't at that point in time. I didn't know if this was going to reverse and head lower. So I just want to take my 50 points and get out. Very rarely will I take 50 points. I usually go for 70, 80, 90, 100, 120, 150, depending, right? There we go. We got a nice array there. Don't ask me why. All right, let's go ahead and erase that. Okay, so let's go ahead now. And so that was the first trade there. But the one David was asking about, I believe, was that one. Okay, yeah. So this was another good trade that I had right there. Again, You can go back and look at the live trading updates. There was your flash. It was beautiful. Challenge these extensions. Look, big selling, but look where we closed, right at the core DML holding. True average is holding there, oncoming true average. And where were we? Well, look, we were into this support zone. First of all, what's the type of trading on the 50K? Well, at this moment, we're still technically in congestion, right? Okay, that's good. Here you have these DMLs as support into that zone. What did I just get done talking about, right? Pen, right there, coming across right there, 25,280, guys, 25,280. There you go. It's all that support on the higher time period. Perfect lightning flash. What's a lightning flash? I did a video on it in the course section. Boom, those 3 sections. Sure, sometimes they'll extend, whatever, but that was picture perfect. There's your buy. Well, guys, that's the one that I held, and I was talking about that while I was in it. Even though this popped up and we closed underneath the extension, I held because I was looking at this crossover right here, right? I was looking at that core DML. I knew we were coming out of all this. I knew that the 50,000 contracts traded before that attempted flush up here, we traded above the congestion entrance bar, which is this bar right here, right? And guys, if this doesn't make any sense, just keep studying, keep taking notes. You know, I speak VolPro Edge language like I do English because I invented VolPro Edge. I've been around it for a long time. You know, I don't even know how many hours I've spent on VolPro Edge, guys. It would be scary and crazy to count how many hours, tens of thousands, probably. I don't know, a lot, right? So I'm fluent in this. It makes sense to me. I can see it in 4D. You will get there, but that will take time, just like learning a language, connecting those neural pathways in your brain to be able to connect, you know, what's going on in multiple time frames and all these different nuances. You will get there, but it doesn't happen in 3 months, 6 months, a year. You know, you can be profitable 6 months, a year into your journey if you work really hard, especially with VolPro Edge, the community, the mentorship, all that. But to read it like this, guys, you know, you're talking PhD level in VolPro Edge, and you've got all the tools to get there. It's just a matter of time, experience, and hard work, right? And this is why I'm teaching you guys why I take these trades, because I want you to learn from this. So to me, that was just picture perfect. Posted it in the chat for you guys. I said I'm retargeting the highs right up in here. My target originally was 401, but when we got right up to that extension at about, I think 87, I took profit. So I got in at like 01. I was out at 87. I think I was a couple contracts long. Again, why was I only 2 contracts on that trade and not, you know, my typical 3-4 contracts? Well, because I'm not super aggressive today. I was like, yeah, 2 contracts is good. I made $3,500 on that trade. On the trade before that, I can't remember what I made. I think I made 2,000. So that was 55. And then I actually did have a short later in the day up here, guys. This was just, it was very clean. So that's why I had a good day. I was 3 for 3, 2 longs, 1 short. But I'll just focus on, you know, talking about this one because this is the one David was asking about. And to me, that was very clear. So I hope that helps you guys. Let me know if you enjoy these types of recaps. If you've got questions about trades I'm taking, why I took it. That was just a beauty right there. Absolute beauty. And then, yeah, the short, I'm not going to, you know, go over this, but, you know, basically I was watching this as we were grinding around up here. And then you can see the first, you know, that when we had that footprint right there and you close below, look, you're trending up. All this is still trending because you're above the middle, and then bang, right there. I could already see this flash setting up, anticipating it. I didn't think we were going to go all the way back to the highs just because the day was already wild and wonky. You know, we were already 25,220 to 25, you know, 5, you know, we were already 300 points off the lows. You know, longs are going to get stuck up there, and that's where they got stuck. And then, you know, even if you don't get in there, as that's breaking down through all these extensions here, you know, see the selling coming in heavy, get in, you know, ride it. All right. Hope that helps you guys. Have a wonderful evening. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning pre-open. VolPro Edge for the win. And so happy you guys are here. All right. See ya.